Oh, wait, I have a sheet for you.
Oh.
I'm not leaving you just hanging out to dry here.
All right, I'll call the governance committee to order. First is the approval of the prior minutes from December 13th.
I'm gonna move those minutes. I don't
right.
think that they're aware of them.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, all right, thank you. Review the mission statement and measurement report. Is there anything to?
So, oh shoot, my copy wasn't updated. Hold on. That's my fault. The mission statement. This is our mission statement. We don't recommend any changes. We did edit it a couple years ago to add the last word and its surrounding counties because we can do SBA 504s. Can we do bond deals or just 504 loans?
Just 504s. We could look to expanding your bonding authority, but you got to go to the state.
We need the legislature. Oh yeah, we're not gonna do that. Okay.
Well, yeah, you need legislature and the state.
Yeah, no, we're not gonna do that. Yeah, so because we do SBA 504s in surrounding counties. So we are not, staff is not making any recommended changes to the current mission statement. And then the next is the required report from the ABO, the Authority Budget Office. This is the same report we give you every year. It's the, and we just updated it with 2023, and these are the numbers that came from the annual report that we gave in January that Anna gave. It's just, we just added the number. This is how the state wants to see it, so there's nothing new there.
We'll go, let us go back. Do we need a motion to say that, the mission statement that is adopted again for 2024?
Yeah, he's got it.
Okay, so I need to make a motion here?
Yeah, I did it as one, honey.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's why.
Okay, yeah. So can I have a motion for the mission statement and measurement report?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right. Now, review the bylaws.
There are no recommended changes to the bylaws. We sort of went through a more comprehensive review and made some changes last year and the year before that to make some SBA changes and then some sort of cleanup related changes, but no recommended changes at this time.
Okay. All right, any questions for that? All right, so can I have a motion to re-adopt the bylaws?
Motion.
As presented with no changes?
I'm sorry.
Oh, all right.
Second.
Second? All right, all in favor?
Yeah.
All right, so next is Governance Committee Charter.
No recommended changes to the charter. So if anyone has any questions, happy to answer them. Otherwise, we recommend readoption.
All right, any questions? All right, can I have a motion to readopt the charter with no changes? All right, second?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, next is to review the policies and procedures.
It's my time to shine.
All right, it's a long list.
So
I just printed out the
Yeah.
I couldn't figure out how to make the red line version in the PDF because Amy's gonna do it next year. So I have technical difficulties, so I printed it so you can see the recommended changes, but I couldn't figure it out how to do it. Thank you.
So the only policy with recommended changes is the local labor policy. The intent with these changes is to match MCIDC's local labor policy with the sister agency Comitee's local labor policy.
Which alphabet is that? That's L, right? Page 58?
Oh, yes.
Okay,
Yes.
just for an understanding.
Sure.
So what's in the packet is
The clean
the
version?
clean version. You can't see what the changes are.
Okay.
Yeah, so what you have in front of you is the proposed changes The changes to the first paragraph are more sort of cleanup in nature and sort of redefining the MCIDC has the ability to offer incentives in the surrounding counties. But the main changes here are bid processing. So basically, if you have a issuance of tax exempt or taxable bonds over 5 million, then we want all bid solicitations to be posted on the Builders Exchange of Rochester Plan Room 2 weeks before the bids are due. So that's a requirement of where the bids have to be uploaded. And then the remaining changes are in the exemptions and sort of tightening those up. Basically, the warranty, the exemptions for warranty issues, there is some cleanup there that basically wants to know if there's no one local who's certified, is there a way to get those people certified to be able to do the work before we just grant the exemption that, hey, the manufacturer is requiring specialized labor. So it's tightening up that. And then just cleaning up some of the other required documentation for some of the exemptions, like what specifically needs to be provided and how.
And this is all mirroring the Cometee's local labor policy and changes that took place.
Yeah, and I think it's important to note that Cometee's, how do you say this? Like they do the deep dive into this and the required documents and everything because of they have their project volume and they have a local labor representative on their board. And so the only projects that MCIDC that this applies to are the bond deals, where every project that goes through Commitee, and we have, 30 a year. So, and they look at this several times a year.
So Commitee has the Builders Exchange
Yeah.
thing? Okay, I think that's, I'm not familiar with it, but if that's normal.
And the other sort of note on that is the use of apprentices if there's warranty issues. The one thing that I just put in here was just, I want to flag it for the board so that we can discuss it, is Commitee requires the use of pre-apprentices or apprentices. That's that footnote on the bottom of page 2. Before they're going to approve a third-party installer. So before they approve out-of-market people, they're going to make you hire apprentices or pre-apprentices. The one thing I added there, and you see it capitalized and in brackets, is like may be expressly conditioned versus it will be expressly conditioned. Commitee says it will be conditioned, so you have to hire the apprentices. I don't know if we want to provide flexibility to the board to either say you have to grant, you have to use apprentices or you don't. That's obviously going to add a layer of cost and things that I just wanted to flag for everyone.
So does that qualify for the New York State Apprenticeship Program and the local unions?
So what MCIDC would be requiring is the use of apprentices for just the installation of the things that require the specialized sort of warranty manufacturer type things. Could you qualify for other potential programs? I guess it would depend on the project and specifically, like the cost and those things. But that's the only sort of one of these where we're going to require apprentices. And I just want to flag it because, it could potentially be an issue for some of our projects. And I didn't know if we want to provide flexibility, which would be different from Commitee, admittedly.
I like the flexibility only because we know from experience, having monitored this policy for Commitee, and this was a change that took place, I think in 2021 or perhaps 2022. It's been challenging because, as you point out, Brittany, the word apprentice is a formal term. And it's very, heavily monitored and guarded and regulated by the State Department of Labor. There was flexibility built into this verbiage where it says pre-apprentices and apprentices or local construction laborers. So, we can avoid requiring a contractor to hire a certified union apprentice and instead hire a local laborer. But it's been unwieldy and challenging for staff and for a local labor monitor on the Commitee side. So I like the inclusion of maybe, because then on a case-by-case basis, depending on the scope of work, depending on the contractor, depending on the availability of local labor, we can say, you know what, we're gonna ask that you look into bringing
Sure.
on an apprentice or not.
Yeah, okay.
Didn't this come up with something recently? I can't remember which deal, that they purchased a product that needed to be installed when it was an out-of-state vendor, but they required that the GC use a specific specific rep from them to install the product because they were certified. Didn't we run into this recently?
Yeah, automated doors, I think,
Yeah.
something like that, yeah, is
Okay.
what it was. But yeah, there can be a lot of things like that. I mean, that obviously for the U of R related things, if you get into specialized medical equipment that has to be
Yeah.
installed, it's gonna be installed by the manufacturer techs who may not be here. So it is an issue, and then not every specialized installation is it gonna make sense, right? If it's $100,000 of a $200 million project, you may not wanna be hiring like pre-apprentices for that, but if it's a big portion of the project, then maybe it makes more sense. But it just seemed that we don't want our policy to box us in. And then we gotta grant waivers from the policy and do all of that each time. So providing the flexibility, I thought would be a good way to sort of lay out here what our guideposts are, and then we get to decide each time if we wanna do it or not.
Thanks.
Is Commitee thinking about adding maybe?
Maybe not. Their policy does not provide that flexibility. And obviously, I feel like Robin and Anna would know more than I do. I don't
Yeah,
work with
there's
them.
just more, as Robin pointed out, there's more project volume and there's a local labor representative on the Commitee board. So there's a lot more focus on the local labor aspect of Comitee's work, more so than MCIDC, because we're not doing a ton of bond deals every year.
And you got political watchdogs that look at that.
I think the other, sorry.
Yeah, because of the Commitee. And so, as Anna is saying, is that because of their volume of work, and they've got a representative that is on there, then they can focus on it. With us, we don't have that. And so you have to be somewhat flexible to say, we don't have this here, and so we can make a decision in terms of apprentice or what have you. So it just gives us flexibility.
Yeah.
But we don't have too many things that come up like that other than bonds. And so this will cover us there.
I think the two other distinctions I would make is Commitee offers tax incentives, right? They, reduce your tax liability, both sales tax, mortgage recording tax that would otherwise go to the county and state and other folks, and real property taxes for the benefit of for the corporation. We don't do that. The only thing we offer is a conduit for tax exempt bonds. So there's less of like this, we're taking tax money away to do projects. And the other thing, specifically for like this is that when we're competing for conduit bond projects, one of the things they look for in addition to fees is what are the additional requirements, right? And if we're comparing ourselves against DASNY, they don't have these local labor requirements. So we need to provide some relief valve for us to make sure that we can be competitive.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So if everyone's okay with these proposed changes, and I'll send you a new clean copy with the footnote, Robin, just so you have that. Then we should have a motion to approve the amended labor policy.
Okay. Can I have a motion to approve the amended local labor policy? What are we doing
I did,
We do the rest afterwards. I think you should
that's
have
how I
two.
wrote it, if you wanna switch it.
Yeah, let's just have a motion to recommend to the full board, the approval of the amended local labor policy.
Okay. Can I have a motion to approve the amendment to the local labor policy?
So moved.
All right, second?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right,
And
thank you.
then we'll have a motion to recommend to the full board the reapproval of all the other existing policies without changes.
Okay, can I have another motion? Can I have a motion to approve with no changes the other policies? Do you want me to read them all?
No, A through K and M through S.
A through K and N through S.
Motion.
All right, second?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you. All right, next is to review the summary board evaluations.
Page 81, so this is the one, this is the summary of what everybody filled out for the board. This is everyone that I had in at the time. And the new board member, the 4 new board members did not fill it out, obviously, they've only been on the board a month. So if you guys wanna, so this gets, this tally goes to the authority budget office.
Okay. All right, so there's only a couple that somewhat agree.
I'm sorry, what was the scale? It was 7 to 10?
7 out of 7,
7.
yeah, right?
Yeah, only 7 people filled it out.
But I know I just got one more. So I'll update this for the board meeting next week.
Okay. Do we want to talk about the ones that somewhat agree, or, I mean, this looks pretty good.
Oh. Are there any that stand out that you think we need to give attention to and discuss?
Yeah, I'm reading the ones that somewhat agree, but
Even that's still not
yeah, it's not
alarming.
right.
I mean, it looks good to me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, looks good to me as well. Good,
I
7.
just have a quick question on this. It's been a while since I've done this, so I forgot. Is there a section to provide comments? Do we read, is there a comment section for this? I mean, if someone put like somewhat disagree, there's no reason, there's no place for them to kind of expand on that, correct?
Yeah, this is the form that they gave us.
That's the state form, yeah.
Alright,
There is no, obviously there's an opportunity for discussion,
Yeah.
but there's no sort of comment box included.
gotcha. Okay.
If people want to send in comments,
Right.
we'd be happy to discuss that.
I was just curious. Okay, that's it. Thank you.
All right. Do we need?
And
Sorry.
just know that you have to fill us out again this coming year.
Mhm.
And so if you have some comments, put them in there. Yeah.
And looking through this, there's always more that I could do as executive director and that we could do collectively as staff to, bombard you with more information or be more available to you to answer questions and be more forthright. I myself am not always fully up to speed on, the letter of every single one of our policies and bylaws. I constantly need to be refreshing my memory and reminding myself. So I think in this coming year, we're going to be focused on, after we get through this committee cycle, staff, we're going to be focusing more on modernization. We're going to be fixing up our website. So you'll be hearing from us about all this stuff. So hopefully we'll get 7 full resounding agrees on every single prompt at next year's evaluation.
I don't think you'll ever get that. And neither should you. But if it's not glaring, I don't know, basically where it lies, but since I've been on the board, and it's been a long time, I watched the board improve, each and every year. And what tends to happen when we have these evaluations, they still read the same. And so if you weren't making progress with your board or with the trajectory that we're going, I'm quite sure you would see these evaluations much different. I think a lot of times when these evaluations are given to us, I don't know how much thought goes into them in terms of really trying to analyze where we're at as a board. I really wish there was a way that we could sort of gauge that. But it seems to me that this is what we're going to get each and every time.
Yeah.
That's been my
And we've had some
experience.
turnover the
Yeah.
past 2 years, which is good.
Yeah,
And you have been here a long time.
yeah. So I think when we fill them out this year, I think it's up to you all as new board members. If there's something that is not happening right here, especially in governance, we should try to put that in so we can take a look at it and see if we can get it fixed. If there needs to be more board training, if there needs to be a better understanding of the budget, the budgetary process and stuff like that, and we don't think that we're covering it or we're not understanding it or something like that, then by all means, we should put that in there so we can take a look at it at year's end and at least have the staff set up some type of training or something remedial for us so we get the understanding.
Well said.
All right.
I mean, when Robin gives me my evaluation, I somewhat know where I'm going with it. I can do it just like this almost. In all sincerity, the boards that we worked on, MCIDC boards, the board members have taken this very, very seriously and have used their acumen and skill to make sure that this board functions right, that it does the letter to the law. We always have counsel at the meetings, so we're not overstepping or doing anything like that. And as you can see, I don't know, you all weren't here, but you'll see it in next week at the board meeting. The finances, getting them straight and up under. We pass our audits with flying colors. And so, I mean, the evaluations are what they are.
Here.
All right, thanks. All right, so next is review or I don't need a motion or anything, right? Just review, so, okay. So yeah, review governance committee self-evaluation.
That's on the next page.
And really, we should go with the chair's evaluation, you know, that tells us a whole lot. So we just go with Zach's and.
Yeah, there you go.
That's all that matters.
Yeah, that's all that matters, you know?
All right. Yeah, this is. Oh. So for this is saying, this committee consider necessary training to enhance the board's performance. And does the committee recommend qualifications for new board members? So, you have recommendations on how we can do better on those?
It's a good point. I think we could more broadly with the entire board share opportunities for training. There are opportunities through the authority's budget office, right?
For
There's
new board
required
members.
training for new board members.
Mhm.
As for ongoing professional development, you know, we can look into that as staff. I know we have staff pursue some training, webinars and things of that nature through the SBA. Perhaps there's something through
Should we have
NADCO.
the SBA come back and do,
Yeah, we could do something
I
like
think it's been a
that.
while since I did that. There's been
Mhm.
a lot of new board members since
Right.
last time.
And then our bylaws have some requirements around board members and board members that should have certain sets of qualifications, like we need a certain number of bankers on our board. Beyond that framework, is there some very black and white language in our bylaws about the makeup of the board and what qualifications people should have?
No, the only specific requirements are really from the SBA side of the house.
Okay.
The New York not-for-profit laws are more flexible. Obviously, you know, the sole member of the corporation, the legislature / county executive in this case, gets to, you know, shape the board as well to the extent they want to, as far as, you know, getting people maybe involved in workforce development, people involved on the banking side, people involved in not-for-profits. So I think it's good to have a wide swath, but there's no specific requirements in the New York not-for-profit law on board membership, only on the SBA side, where there has to be a certain amount with sort of banking underwriting experience.
Yeah, very good point. And as there's been some turnover in recent years, we, in advising the county executive on new appointments to the board, and we have 3 of you here at the table were new appointments in the last 2+ years. We've looked for recommendations from current board members, and we've looked for people who are engaged in the business community, whether they have a banking background or a background working in business. And we also are looking for workforce development, and we're looking for diversity writ large as a qualification. So maybe there's something that we can do as we look ahead at the new year and we're focused on modernization to add some language to whether it's our mission or something else about what backgrounds our board members should represent. But I think we have a very, very strong board.
Yeah, yes, and I think part of it may be just, you know, I don't know that we necessarily need to amend the bylaws to do that, but just maybe, you know, discussing what the priorities are and, you know, what is important to the organization as far as, you know, board membership. You know, maybe filling some of that gap as far as just understanding what it is that we're looking for. But if folks want it written down in a policy or in the bylaws specifically, we obviously can do that.
All right. So how would we move forward with that? Just talking about it in the next meeting?
Yeah, I think we're, obviously from my perspective, I'm open to, you know, discussing sort of what the typical procedure is and what the qualifications have been, and what the obviously bylaws say. And then if people want to understand more about, you know, nominating and how that goes and what the procedure is, we can go through that. And if people want us to put in more language either into a specific policy or into the bylaws for us to say like, okay, you know, we'll consider people from these areas or we'll target this. I think the language though has to be soft if it's going to be in the bylaws, because we can't run into a problem where we can't govern because we don't have, you know, a perfect matrix, right? This is still a volunteer board. So we're going to have some flexibility there, but we can put guideposts out there if people want to see it.
I think at the next board meeting, we may, I don't want to spend a lot of time on it, but we will, after the governance report, Zach, maybe we'll just bring it up that, if there, are any recommendations, from the board members, that they would like to see, training or more information. And I don't know if the board members, new board members came on. I don't even know if we, I think Robin, you all did orientation, right? Yeah. And so, I think the other, I guess the other thing would be, do we believe that the composition of the board currently that we have right now is adequate to make decisions for MCIDC? Do we need a lawyer on the board? Do we need accountants on the board? Is there some type of expertise that is needed on the board that may make us better? That could be the start of a conversation or a discussion. And if so, we take those recommendations back, we give them the honor, and maybe we start looking and searching for what the board has suggested that we possibly need on the board. So do you all think that that is a good idea for the next time that we meet? Yeah, let us do that. And that might require some of you all to go back to school and take on some of these responsibilities and get that. But this guy here will be exiting. But I do think a competent board with strong acumen on it is important. And like I said, since I've served on the board, we've had that. We've tried to find folks that had the spirit of volunteering, but also had the acumen to serve. And that when they came on, we got the best of what they had to offer in terms of them getting on these committees and making sure that the board functions, you know? So.
All right, yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah.
All right. So is there any other business? All right, so can I have a motion do I need a motion?
Motion to adjourn.
Yeah, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
All right.
All right, thank you.